Good evening, good evening. My name is Irma J. Okay, coming with you with part two. Now we are talking about Jesus had walked on water, and this package is about faith. Peter was the only one who had faith to get out the boat. Now he was walking on top of the water until he got distracted with the wind, and he started sinking. So immediately Jesus had reached out his hand and called him. You have little faith, he said. Why did you have doubt? Now, what he's saying, when he got distracted, he started having doubt, and that's why he started sinking. If he would have got back on track, being focused, put his eyes on Jesus, and had courage that he gonna walk to Jesus, he would have kept on walking. But by he got distracted, then he started having doubt, and that's why he started sinking. So Peter had a little faith, Jesus said. He got distracted of the wind and he was afraid and started doubting and he sank. And when they climbed into the boat, the wind died out. And that's strange. One time I got soaking wet out there, but soon as I came home and got close to my porch, it stopped raining. It just got in the next 5-10 minutes. It was dry like it ain't never rained, and my clothes and hair, everything was soaking wet. So time they got back on the boat, the rain had stopped. So God in control of the weather. So when Peter was okay and he climbed into the boat, God stopped the wind. See, a lot of time God do things that to see how our faith is. He had faith. He had enough faith to get out the boat. He sank, but Jesus reached his hand out and pulled him up. And so when they got in the boat, that's when God stopped the wind. Because remember, God controlled the weather. And so then those who was in the boat, they worship him. Saying, truly, you are the Son of God. And see, a lot of time with God prophets, they don't want to admit, in a knowledge that person, just like Paul, who Paul was, but God transformed him to be the man that he want him to be. But a lot of the Israelites did not accept him, you know. And see, and that's how it is with Elijah. When Elijah had did something good for this lady, she said, I know you is the man of God. It take for them to do a miracle or something for them to believe, oh yes, you from God. You from God. Now the disciple had worshipped him and recognized him as the Son of God. Now Jesus have human, he has spiritual being. Now so no can't do what he can do. Just because Jesus was right there walking on the wall, that's why he was able to do that. But by himself, all the power that Jesus have, we don't have. That's why he give it to his disciples. He gave them power, but they had to call out on his name because the power going to come through Jesus to them because we don't have the power. So when they had crossed over, they landed at the at Genesis. So the people saw, and then the boat landed. So when the men of that place recognized Jesus, so everybody recognized Jesus. They had sent a word to all the surrounding countries that Peter the people had brought all the sick people. So when they heard that Jesus, the boat had landed, and they heard, oh, that's Jesus. They went and gathered all the sick people to come for Jesus to heal them. That's the time you got to you meet up with Jesus. Just like I put the other day, this lady was bleeding for 12 years. But when she heard that Jesus was coming in their city, that was her opportunity. She said, only if I can touch his clothes, I will be healed. Catch that opportunity when you see Jesus around and you get yourself healed. And so the word got out quickly and people recognized Jesus to heal them, and a beggar him to let the sick just touch him, the edge of his clothes, and all who touched him was healed. They had a man that was begging all the time, you know, and he was sick. He said, only if I could touch his clothes, the edge of his clothes, I would be healed. So everybody had touched Jesus, they was healed that day, that moment. So they all were healed by a simple touch, the hem of his garment. Now, this procedure may have been motivated by reports, of the cure, you know, for 12 years. They're talking about that lady. She went to every doctor, and the doctor couldn't heal her. Jesus is a doctor. Jesus can be your doctor. Jesus can be your nurse and everything you want Jesus to be. And a lot of times, and then he don't have to have surgery on you. All you have to do is just touch him. You have to have faith, and you have to believe that you will be healed when you touch Jesus' clothes. See, that lady had said, only if I touch his clothes, I can be healed. So you have to talk like that. You can't have doubt. You don't have to have no surgery on that. Just believe and have faith that only if I can touch Jesus' clothes, I will be healed. So this passage was about faith. By faith. So after Peter walked on the water and they got back in the boat, God had stopped the rain. He stopped the rain. And then the people that were already on the boat, they worship Jesus. They said, you're the man of God. They saw him walking on that water looking like a ghost. So nobody but a man of God's son can do the things you do. And so that when the boat landed, then everybody else recognized Jesus, and they started getting everybody over the sick people and all to be healed. And so that's all I have for you today. The pack was about faith. About faith. Peter's the only one had enough faith to get out that boat. It's a lot of time when we get distracted, we start sinking, we get occupied, and all this stuff. We have to keep our eyes focused on Jesus and God. I be in the spiritual mode, and then sometimes it's still long, and then I start getting frustrated again. So when you're in a long storm, you have to keep your faith activated. You have to keep, because your faith will start weakening. You're not there yet. And you have to keep your faith going. You have to keep a strong faith. And I know that can be hard. That can be hard, keeping your faith going, keeping your hope going. But when we get distracted, we don't want to get distracted, because we'll never get there. We'll start sinking. We have to keep focusing. Even when our faith get weakened, we have to activate it again. So that's all I have for you today. Keep a strong faith in your storm, and you'll be all right. Have a nice day.